Cup semi-final. Craven Park heaving this afternoon. These brilliant rugby league fans hoping, dreaming of what might be on the way in 2025. The visiting team, Huddersfield, right to left in their chain shirts. The Robins in red and white, and they have first possession here.
How good is this? The sun's shining. Round 11. Oh, you just love the game. Dean Hadley. What about this man here, Rupert? Jarrah Hargreaves. Over 300 NRL games, 43 caps for the Kiwis.
Jez Litton out of dummy half, yeah. Jared Warrior-Hargreaves suiting up again this afternoon as Mikey Lewis, that long left boot of his, down deep into Huddersfield territory. Now their first opportunity, important to try and get some good go forward early, get in good position for a kick on the last. And Adam Swift, he's put on the floor.
Yeah, they've got to do a good job on Adam Swift. 183 metres made out of backfield last week. We saw in his last appearance up at St James's Park. And this is good defence here from the Robins. They do this really well. They start games with intent and purpose.
Yeah, Jack Broadbrent involved with Mikey Lewis there. And Jez Litton in that triple tackle. Early defence has been a cornerstone of their winning season. Just the one loss, remember, to Wigan on the 11th of April. They won the last 4 in Super League and that semi-final in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, but the defence is what they've been doing really well. You look at where Gagai caught that ball off Mikey Lewis's kick, and they barely made 15 metres in 5 plays. And here comes Liam Rush with boot to ball, catched on the full and crossed over nearly to the halfway line by RT Morg, finds it.
Yeah, Morg cut tied in that Challenge Cup semi-final, but Willie Peters puts him straight back in. That fullback, what a fine signing he looks to have been. A carry there from the Joe Burgess off his wing. Here he is again. JWH, 4-time NRL winner, his final ever season as a professional rugby league player. Tyrone May with a short ball. Lewis. So the unsung hero of this 4-pack. Hadley flicked across to Davis. That was slightly fortunate. Went backwards. We go along. Tom Davis, the 28-year-old, almost through the tackle of Leroy Cujo, but they're just 10 metres out now, the Robins. And just a delay of game there from Mikey Lewis. It's a turnover on the last.
A disappointing end to the set there. And Mikey Lewis, potentially, if he'd have carried on with the ball, he would have been pulled back for an obstruction. He decides he has to take the knee, but it's not a bad place to turn the ball over. Of course, they would have liked a little bit more quality on the end of that. I think it's Jar Whitbread's line. And that's a decent carry from Gagai.
Yeah, they won that first game of the season against the other team from Hull FC on Magic weekend. Snapped a 9-game losing streak this season. Spoke to Luke Robertson, head coach, before kickoff. He's just keen to have these players back because he had this horror run with injuries, and just be able to call on some big names to give themselves a chance at this level.
Yeah, he's certainly been cursed with injuries in 2025. Even when they were getting a couple back, they'd seem to lose someone else. And that's a decent end to the set. Just trying to trap the home team inside their 20-metre zone.
Yeah, Adam Clune, grateful for a better field position there. Tom Davis. Litton, no Mickey McAlorum, remember, out long-term with injury, so big responsibility on the shoulders of Jez Litton and Bill Leyland on the interchange. Here's Warrior-Hargreaves once again, thundering upfield.
Yeah, just steamrolls over Ollie Wilson.
Lewis kicks high again. Difficult ball, well taken. In the air from Jacob Gagai, playing on the wing, but of course a very accomplished fullback. Swift now. Huddersfield playing out of that right-hand side. They got a fan zone down that end. It was like a music festival here this afternoon. They're doing good things on and off the field, this whole Kingston Rovers club at the moment. Very fan-focused, all on the back of this successful season on the field they're having.
It's going to be another kick, from deep from Adam Clune again, 25 metres away. And that's the net result. Morg crossing over the halfway line once more.
Over 60 points already this season in just 6 games for KR. Artur Morg. What a day Jack Broadbent had in that semi-final. Man of the match, a couple of tries.
Yeah, he's been an important signing since he's been made his way over. Very versatile as well, has to be said. Plays a number of positions. Here's Elliot Minchella, ball praying through the middle of the field. Here comes May.
And Mikey Lewis takes the tackle. This is the last. May, flat ball, almost intercepted. It's gone forward. So a knock on is the call.
And Zach Wolford. It's a bullet of a pass from May, trying to find Jai Whitbread. Wolford just sticks his left arm out, gets caught, heavily ball watching. An opportunity up opens here. They do favour that left-hand side, but it looks like they're setting up to the right.
They're overloading the near side, you can see. Jai Whitbread in action there. One of the try scorers in a 50-4 win against Huddersfield in the return fixture. Out the back to Davis from May. Picks it up on the bounce and heads back in field. 10 metres out, the Roberts. Litton thought about the captain Minchella to his left, gave it to Warrior-Hargreaves for a few more metres. Always makes them. Litton scoots out a dummy half, inches away. Third tackle now. May, Lewis skips away. Mikey Lewis, so dangerous. Been involved in so many try involvements for KR this season. 19 in all. Litton under pressure at dummy half. Ball's loose. Swifts onto it. No. It's gone forward again off a Giant's hand.
There's a little bit of afters there between Cudjoe and Minchella. The penalty was given away, Rupert, through George Flanagan. Just making Jez Litton play too early for Tom Grant. But the players come together. Just keep your eyes here. You can see George Flanagan there with the scrum hat on, making a play offside. In the view of Tom Grant. It's going to be some more sustained pressure here. They've answered it pretty well so far. Only nearly 8 minutes gone on the clock.
The penalty's for offside.
But they can't keep doing this.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Jared, come here, please. Come here, please, mate. Adam, come here, pal. It's not to do with you, mate, don't worry. I just want to speak to you as a leader. Come here, mate. No, it's okay. You're not to bother. Obviously, we've got a penalty for offside, reaching around the ruck. I'm going to speak to you two as team leaders because the other two are coming together and pushing. It's probably not a wise idea. Calm your teams down, we don't need that, please. Yeah, all right, yeah, let's go. We're going to go with the penalty here, mate. It's over here for us. Yeah, no, mate, I didn't want to speak to you.
Thomas Grant with a couple of messages to two of the leaders there.
It's offside. Wait there, please. Wait there.
The penalty for offside here. And Litton taps and goes. Minchella inside the Warrior-Hargreaves once more.
Move, Leroy, now! Go line!
Cuts out Hadley to May. Jai Whitbread again. Whitbread, he's over the line, but he's been held up.
Tackle two in the tail. Let him go, George. Let him go. Your time's off, relax. Let him go, come on, let's go.
Kept going there, did Jai Whitbread.
That's two, back foot, please.
He wasn't giving up. Hits a short ball at pace. You can see the ball carrying arm, it never hits the floor.
Move, go line!
He's held up.
Dean Hadley. Always working hard for
Move, back foot!
Kingston Rovers.
Hold.
Minchella double pumps it to Lewis, and just spilling the pass was Jack Broadbent.
It was a dipping ball. Minchella onto Lewis. The pass was ever so dipping, but I'd expect Broadbent to take that one in. But all that possession comes to nothing.
He said he was made up, Jack Broadbent, in his post-match interview after that semi-final at the York Community Stadium last weekend. Great day out he had. Unforced error there, though, and a chance here for the visiting side to try and get out of their own red zone, where they've spent plenty of this game so far.
Let's go. Out!
Adam Swift, as he so often does, puts his hands up on the first tackle. And triple tackle coming in from the whole KR defence. Cujo shifts it across to Oliver Wilson. He's dominated in the tackle of Whitbread and Warrior-Hargreaves as well. Out the back from Cujo to Clune. Now Flanagan, dangerous runner. He's impressed with the ball in hand this season. So Giants on the last, inside their own half. Left foot kick from Kieran Rush. And Burgess takes it in the sunshine. And
this is where Huddersfield, Rupert, need to copy what Hull KR have done defensively. Get some numbers in tackles, win and dominate collision. And not just allow the Rovers just to roll down the end of the field before a kick from Lewis. Just a copy and paste set.
Coming into this round, Hull Kingston Rovers, top of the league in points scored, fewest tries and points conceded. That's why they're up there at the very top. Second overall at the moment with that Wigan win, but no score here so far.
Tyrell May just threatening back through the middle of the field.
Mail kick. High, Flanagan's underneath it. Hadley on the chase. A good take from George Flanagan. A good chase from Minchella.
Yeah, he just wanted to try and reach his right foot out and catch that. You see, he almost just sticks his hoping and praying that it touches the whitewash.
Adam Swift again. 168 career tries to his name.
He's averaging a try every game so far for the Giants, and this is 24th appearance. He already registered 23 to his name. Jump out from Wolford here. Oh, there's an error there from Wilson.
Mix up between Zach Wolford and Wilson. I'm sure he thought the pass was coming. It did, and it hit the deck.
Just see Wolford. He wants him to come underneath, and he doesn't. He just sticks that right arm out. And it's a mistake. 30 metres away, centre of the field. They loaded up the right on the last scrum play. It looks like they're heading out towards the left now. And the Giants have conceded 7 tries from scrums this season so far. You'd imagine this one's a little bit further out. Here comes Lewis, taking the line on. Brought down there, 20 metres away now.
Minchella to Hadley. Wilson with the tackle. Litton. Minchella at first receiver again. May, and the short ball to James Batchelor. Back in the pack this afternoon after playing out on the back line. So versatile. Warrior-Hargreaves again changes direction there. The offloading contact to Minchella. May cut out ball on here for Burgess. And Joe Burgess gets the first try of the afternoon for Hull Kingston Rovers, and you've got to say it was coming.
Yeah, it sure was. Joe Burgess collects his 5th try, and he's been in sensational form this season. But he didn't really have to do an awful lot to put the icing on the cake there. It was all done from the inside. But it all came about through the mistake of the Giants just inviting this KR team into their end of the field. The error from Wilson, the offload from Wirra-Hargreaves, who's dominating that middle part of the field. Minchella then out to May, a wonderful cutout ball using Mikey Lewis as a foil. The catch and pass from Broadbent. This means that Joe Burgess just has to cruise in to get the first score this afternoon. 4-0.
Yeah, his 5th try this Super League season for Joe Burgess.
And here's one, a kick from RT Morg. 79% success rate this season. And if he lands this, Rupert, he joins Mark Percival at the top of the Super League points scored so far. 62 to his name already. Will it be 64?
Yeah, sun in his eyes. Artur Morg. As you say, knocking on 80% off the tee this season is the Frenchman. Hit it nicely, just slides by the upright, so remains Hull KR 4, Huddersfield 0. We're almost through 15 minutes.
And it was just, I said they favour the left-hand side. They do score plenty more down that edge to the right. The offload from Hargreaves, and they're just playing off the back of it. But that pass there from May to use Lewis as a foil, the right edge, think Mikey Lewis is going to get that. They come flying in. And the rest of the skill out on that edge to ice that opportunity for the first score. As the try scorer Burgess collects and dumps it onto Hadley.
Well, it's been 3 years since the Giants have beaten the Robins in Super League. 2022, 38-10. Leroy Cudjoe scored 3 tries in that game.
I'll tell you something, Leroy Cudjoe, 37 years old. Penalty after points. He's never, after conceding them, he's not really what you want. Joe Greenwood. Mikey Lewis will just put the boot through the ball. Look at the distance on that kick. Goodness me. Leroy Cudjoe, 37 years old, and he's the Giants' top tackler. Perhaps needs a bit of help from maybe some of the youngsters in and around him.
Here come the Robins on attack once more. Already good for 1 try in this game. Hadley carries it forward.
6 again, slow. I wrote the first one in 12 seconds.
6 again called. Too long in the rock. Minchella just tries to straighten up. Some worrying signs here already.
And making yards through contact in the tackle as well. Litton. Long ball to May. Using that far side well. Mikey Lewis, too easy. Well, no magic required there for Mikey Lewis. Hull KR have they second. They'll check it, but look pretty good live.
Yeah, soft call of a try.
I think it runs inside shoulder line for me, mate. There's no disadvantage. It gets looked at here, mate. It gets looked at in a lot more detail than what I can judge on the field.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, it's tackle 1 live decision of a try. We're just looking at the lead up to ensure there's no obstruction. So just looking at the actions of the lead runner here. Look at all available angles to view the contact. Okay, so who initiates contact here? We'll just go back. Just need to determine who initiates contact. So the lead runner must not run at the chest or outside shoulder of the defender. We can see that Clune is sliding across. We do see contact to the chest of Clune. And we can see now that contact by the lead runner. We now need to assess whether that contact is significant and if there is a level of disadvantage to Clune. So we can see Clune sliding across We see that there is contact to Clune's chest. He is jolted backwards. And as we see Clune then attempt to slide across and tackle Lewis, we need to determine whether that contact is a high level of disadvantage. So we've established contact. So we can see that Clune doesn't have a clear run. He can't slide across with a clear run to get to Lewis. He is jolted back. Does that affect his ability to tackle the ball carrier? So if not for the contact by the lead runner, Clune would have tackled the defender, and there is a high level of disadvantage to Clune. I've made my decision.
Well, the video ref, James Vella's talked himself into this. It's going to be no try for obstruction, it looks.
No try obstruction.
And that is the result of that evaluation. There's been a bit of talk about video refs and how long these decisions are taking. What did you make of that?
Long. Long.
It was
long.
a little bit long.
Look, he's trying to... Look, I understand there's a process that they've got to go through, but he's asking if there's any contact. Well, you can see right from the first frame that there's contact. He's asked 4 or 5 times. Anyhow, the show goes on. No try. Correct call, in my opinion.
Remains 4-0 to Hull KR. No try for Mikey Lewis. A reprieve for the Giants. Can they make the most of it? Here's Kujar. He bumps off Jez Lisson. No problem at all. Bit of a mismatch in contact there. Nice carry from Wilson. Fourth tackle.
This is the best position that the Giants have been in with 17 minutes on the clock. They've only got one more play after this.
On the last Clune kick, he was checked as he did so, and it didn't go very far at all. And in fact, it went into the hands of Tyrone May. So not the last tackle play that Huddersfield were looking for there. And then the penalty comes as well.
Yeah, no, disappointing end, a scruffy end to the set there from Clune. And then the penalty's given away. Walford and Greenwood. Just see the carry. And Zach Walford tips him above the horizontal. And again, Mikey Lewis and the rest of his side, without exerting any energy whatsoever, carrying out a backfield. Our heads are turned to the right once again. More defence required from the Giants, this time on Hadley. Litton to Minchella. Warrior Hargreaves again, that trio working in combination once again. Working the short side to Batchelor. Try scorer in his last 4 games, James Batchelor. Vice-captain today. Morg up in the attacking line to May. Now Mikey Lewis. That's a good tackle there from Bibby. Working hard to get across, and leaves Mikey Lewis on the deck as well. Here comes May. Minchella straightening up once more. Last tackle now for the Roberts. Hadley. Morg, flat pass. Davis, really good hands. Not for the first time today, had to scoop it up off the floor. May, he's going to kick now. And Flanagan can watch that go dead. Yeah, they threatened that shape on the right edge. It was Noah Booth. Late tip on again. Tyrone May just decides to try and thread the needle through the first line of defence, and the kick was too long. You just see a little tip on here, ever so slight at the fingertips, and now it's KR who give away the penalty. Just that little bit of momentum from the 20 tap to get upfield and force the indiscretion from KR, and they can kick upfield themselves now, the Giants. It's just important for the Giants that they spend a bit of time down here. The opening quarter has been all the home team. John Whitbread and Dean Handley give the penalty away that puts the Giants in this position of 6 again now. Is it the chance for the Giants to gain momentum here?
Well, 20 minutes in. Just 4-0 down.
Yeah.
You'd probably take that if you're Huddersfield coming into this on form.
Oh, without doubt. I think they've worked hard defensively. Probably doing a little bit too much. The offload from Greenwood. Sam Hewitt decides to hold on to the pill.
Wolford. Cujo, short ball to Wilson. Well tackled by Hadley, but
I think he's having a great afternoon, Wilson. Defensively, he's been run over the top of a couple of times and he's come up with some mistakes, but that one is probably unforgivable for Luke Robinson, given that where they are in the context of this game and the momentum perhaps starting to swing in their favour. It was a neat ball from Cujo, but the decision from the front rower, he has to just take that in. That's the pressure off.
every Super League game live on Sky Sports. Every game from every round available for you.
Some crackers in there. Saturday, Catlan, Wigan. And then later on as well, Castleford v Leeds Rhinos, of course. Ryan Hall's last-minute winner before Sunday, Wakefield v Salford from 2:55. Here goes Batchelor. Oh!
Batchelor with the show and go over halfway. Reacting well, Sam Halser. May out the back to Lewis. Ducks under the would-be tackle of Bibby. And scooting away is Litton, and Morg joins the action once more. Last tackle coming up for KR. Mikey Lewis changes direction with the kick. Back against the grain, but well taken by Gagai. And he's been shoved back over his own try line.
Willie Peters will be delighted with that. A wonderful kick. A great catch there from Gagai under pressure, but then just look at how quickly the red and white shirts of the Robins just swarm him. And send the former South Sydney Rabbitoh over the line for 6 more.
George Flanagan with the goal line dropout for Huddersfield. It's a wobbly old one. Looking for touch and getting in a bit of a mix-up with two KR players, Davis and May. And that's a handover. You can hear the referee.
Well, credit to George Flanagan for finding that kick and that space in between Davis and May. And the two come together.
He's hurt Tyrone May as well. So he's not a guy you want to run into. He's listed at 98 kilograms, which is pretty big for a standoff halfback. He came off second best. Friendly fire from his winger Davis. End product is Huddersfield at the rugby league football, and here they come.
Just thinking there, you know, we're paying Hull KR a lot of credit. Wirra Hargreaves in trouble here. I think Wirra Hargreaves is in serious trouble here, Rupert. He gets this one all wrong.
Cast your mind back to Huddersfield's last game. A red card in that game. They went on to win it. James Bell, a video ref, will have a look at this.
There is mitigation in that, though, for me. You just see, he just steps and lowers his levels, and it's more of a chest, I think. The initial first thought was it was an arm. I think it's more chest, actually. Just the sheer impact.
Adam, who's a favour? You just take him down that red line.
Thomas Grant just asking Leroy Cujo to let him do his job.
Again, if you just keep your eyes here, I think it's more chest rather than arm. Interested to see how they pick this one apart.
Matty English is still getting treatment on the floor.
WH certainly didn't miss.
116 kilograms, 6'3".
Yeah, it's more chest there for me.
Let's give it a review, mate. What's up, mate? He's leaving the field as well, English. In my opinion, I don't think the initial impact takes away the force, James.
Oh, it could be anything other than a penalty here, Rupert.
Leaving the field, he's going to be replaced by Ashton Golden.
Yep. Oh, we're not saying secondary, no? Yeah, okay.
He's having a chat here with the video ref James Vella, is referee Tom Grants.
It's a change of 360 charge of accountants for Huddersfield.
We've seen it a number of times. For me, it's just a penalty.
I haven't fallen on field. Have you reviewed that part of it? As a mitigation?
Two big men colliding at 100 mile an hour, but it's into his chest, and there's not a lot he can do there. The contact's okay for me.
Here's another look.
Listen, that I've seen it enough times myself now. It's just a penalty, surely.
Yeah, I agree, mate, yeah. So the ball carrier is falling into contact. Yeah. There's forceful, dangerous contact with the head, which takes it down from a red to a yellow, so it's a sin bin.
No.
10 minutes back.
Well, Jared Waria-Hargreaves is in the sin bin for 10 minutes. I mean, your first thought, Carl, to be fair, was you thought it was bad, but then on second look, you thought chest. But at the end result, do you think, given how it looks in real time, that's a fair call?
Yeah, but this is what they got advantage of the video referee for. I mean, it's chest first, and what is he supposed to do? The footwork from English forces him into his chest. It probably actually saves him from being completely sent off, because there was a swinging arm, but the initial impact's with his chest. It's disappointing to see KR down to 12. What a chance and an opportunity maybe for the Giants to capitalise on it.
Yeah, big chance here, approaching 25 minutes. Down by just 4 points to nil, Huddersfield Giants. I say just because they've only won one game all season. And they're up against the high-flying Hull Kingston Rovers here at Craven Park this afternoon. Ball over the top, they're going to get one through Gagai.
Or are they?
Flanagan's got his hand in the air as he got this down. Jacob Gagai.
No, I don't think he has.
This is the on-field call.
Brilliant piece of defensive display there.
You've got to think there.
The rainbow pass over the top to Gagai.
Tackle free, take control, please.
He can't get the ball down.
In.
And brilliant left edge cover there. The shot's fired.
Happy to go with the on-field call. And we continue. Clune to Cujo. To rush to Flanagan, just juggles it slightly. That just halts their momentum for a bit. And Batchelor put him on the floor. They work the short side. Halsall, 10 metres out. And that's a turnover.
And they needed a bit more of a positive finish towards that. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they might just want to camp down here. And Tom Davis just tries to get his side a quick play of the ball.
Broadbent. Hit pretty hard by Sam Hewitt. And here's Dean Hadley.
What about this for left edge defence? You can see when the ball's over in the air, Broadbent, May, they're all in there to deny Gagai what looked a certain score.
Yeah, I thought he was in for all money, but great last-ditch defence from Hull Kingston Rovers. It's not just what they do with the football. Defence has been a cornerstone of their success this season as well.
Yeah, we so often hear that titles are won upon defence, and those habits, those behaviours, creating that muscle memory. They'll certainly draw on those experiences again in season 25, no doubt about it. But an early kick from Tyrone May means that Huddersfield have the ball on play 3. again inside that final third, that negative end of the field that the Giants want to be.
Robins fans getting behind their team. They know they're in a fight here this afternoon.
George King there, Rupert just carrying the football. It's his 245th game, and it's taken that to get an appearance for his hometown club, having spent time with Warrington, Wakefield, and of course, Hull KR.
Yeah, dislocated ankle in pre-season and pulled his calf muscle when rehabbing that. As Artur Moore climbs high, holding on to him. Now Davis.
Oh, that's good from Moore. Second carry after collecting that kick. By 15 or so metres. Burge is in there trying to speed up the run. Gets in behind it.
Couple of tackles still to go. Here's May. Offloads to Batchelor. Batchelor's hit by Ashton Golden, Jamaican international. Lewis. Long kick, plenty of time for Flanagan here.
And the first error from Boot with Mikey Lewis. 7 tackle set here. Flanagan. Oh, he just went a bit too quick for Tom Grant.
Yeah, Swift was just a bit too far afield there, so couldn't go quick. But 7 tackle restart, as you say. Just a little heavy, overcooked that kick from Mikey Lewis.
Zero. Move.
Noah Booth. This centre combination for Hull KR this afternoon.
His second appearance, having a try-scoring one up at Magic Weekend, so delight for him, no doubt. Gets another opportunity, gets a nod from Peters. There's a Giant player down here.
It's Joe Greenwood, very slow to get up off the floor. Zach Wolford. George King again. 6 months he's had to wait to make his debut for the Giants. That's how these things go. It's against his former club. But again, one of those players that, alongside Harry Rushton, is back for Huddersfield today. Although there is a Huddersfield player getting attention in back play.
Oh, he's been down for a good minute or so.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Right, stack of 5.
He calls time off.
Okay.
With Sam Hewitt.
Just come over here. Just the green card. Keep an eye on that.
Have a look at this, and
I have seen people say
maybe one of those
for that, but it's more about other things.
crusher kind of tackles. Seems fairly innocuous, maybe a little bit of weight through the back of the head.
That's the game. It's nice and
It
calm.
looks like he's going to be okay to continue.
Sam Hewitt out of the Huddersfield Academy.
The doctor's come with it.
So Sam Hewitt's going to have to leave the field here for an HIA.
A little bit of rotation. I think it's Joe Greenwood who's going to replace Sam Hewitt, having started the game. Joe Greenwood had a decent start at Magic Weekend against the Black and White, set a decent platform.
Tackle 5.
And a game with 30 minutes in almost, and it's 4-0. The Giants have had to answer a fair amount in terms of defending. Oh, there's an error.
Been dropped by Artur Moore, who's been very safe under the high ball up to this point, and a big opportunity for Gagai, denied earlier. Cover defence comes across from Lewis just in time.
Martin Morg spills the ball. It was Mills, Clune, Rushton, King. Oh, he's dropped the ball. George King loses the ball with a hole wide open in front of him. And again, just when Huddersfield, you feel like they're going to start to maybe show something, they come up with another mistake in good ball. The space opens up so much for George King on the outside shoulder of May. And how he would be delighted to register a score.
Yeah, there wasn't much wrong with the pass from Harry Rushton. With George King, absolute warrior of rugby league. 96 games for Hull KR between 2020 and 2024. They'll want to make up for that mistake.
Oh, and then they've done this again, Rupert. You know, I've commended them for how much defending they're doing and keeping Hull KR to only 4. But some of the discipline with and without the ball down that end of the field has just meant that KR, you would imagine if this continues, then some scores will happen later on in the game, because it's just draining and robbing the energy reserves from the Giants.
Hadley. Conditioning so important. We saw that in the Challenge Cup semi-final as well against Catalan. Their ability to keep the energy levels going deep in contests. As May changes direction to his captain, Elliot Minchella. He offloads to Litton. Keeps it alive for Morg. The twinkling feet of the Frenchman. Out the back to Lewis. Potential overlap on the far side, but Mikey Lewis carries it forward himself. Litton. Morg again. Kicks for himself, but it ricochets into Huddersfield hands. Yeah,
wrong option there. The whole right edge weren't even on the same page. Morg tries to slice one through. Joe Greenwood's right boot traps and scraps the football. And Adam Swift returns with intent.
Again, they withstand the attacking game of KR, do the Giants. It remains 4-0 inside the final 10 minutes of this captivating first half here at Craven Park. The second-ranked team overall at the moment after that win for Wigan against the 11th-ranked side, Huddersfield. Great contest, though, we're watching here. Rush with the kick. Morg lets it bounce, and it's back into Giants' hands.
Offside. And all that comes to nothing. See, once the kick goes up there through the centre of the field, Adam Clune, he makes a play. Or does he? But he's deemed to be in an offside position.
Well, he kind of knew, didn't he? He had to get out of there. He looked to turn on his heels, but...
Yeah, well, they have that new ruling about whether they're active or not. You have to say Adam Clune, with 2 metres away, you would say he was pretty active.
There's Noah Booth again. 4-year contract from Wakefield. Great moment up in Newcastle. Try-scoring debut against Salford. Here's Jai Whitbread, born on the Gold Coast in Australia. And some game time for Bill Leyland out there. For Litton at dummy half. Former Championship Young Player of the Year. There he is. He gives it to James Batchelor. Fourth tackle, Mikey Lewis to May, to Morg. Last now. What can Mikey Lewis conjure up? Kicks back in the opposite direction, and Flanagan climbs high once again. He's been excellent at the back, although he has been gang tackled again.
Have to defend another set here. Great take, under pressure from May. You so often see that combination. Mikey Lewis high kick, Tyrone May chasing. Flanagan takes it well. And then they do enough to drag him over the try line and force another goal line dropout. We saw Flanagan find the touchline earlier. I think KR will be onto that one this time.
Well, they've weathered plenty of storms already. There's another one of those low trajectory angle kicks from line dropouts from Flanagan. That time Davis was onto it.
Jared Hargreaves back out there. So they're back up to 13. Kalepi Tanganoa with his first involvement of the afternoon, and that's a decent carry.
So often offers good impact. The big Aussie off the interchange. Leyland to May. Inside to Morg, just looming in the centre of the park.
He's been threatening as Morg.
Minchella. On the cut is Tanganoa, junior kangaroo.
Back foot! Wait!
Leyland just shapes to go open, but works the short side again. Last tackle here. Minchella's going to try and do it himself. Held up once more. That'll be Huddersfield football.
10, please, George.
Okay, out there just going for the power play. Twice, just trying to dart over from dummy half. Maybe perhaps a little bit frustrated how they're not registered points and maybe just trying to solve it on their own.
But again, credit to the visiting team here to find a way to keep this whole KR side, who've been devastating on attack this season, to keep them out to just that one score to Burgess in the far corner.
Robinson will be delighted with that score line, but I think what he'll be asking his players is just to sharpen up down the other end of the field, because that really has what's hurt them in terms of clawing the score back into this game. They just look like they're absorbing everything that KR have been throwing at them. And here's a little run for the right. Flanagan, Milne with footwork to the offload and couldn't find it.
Play the ball in there. Hold.
3.5 to go, first half here. 4-0 the score, and the kick deep for Artur Morg to run it back once more for KR.
He's laying light on his feet, as he always is this afternoon. In the last 10 minutes or so, he's just finding space in between players, just becoming increasingly more threatening as the Frenchman. It's an important set that they have to defend here. 3 minutes left.
Here in the St. Hewitt's past his HIA. Leyland at dummy half to Warrior Hargreaves, the little scoop ball to Jai Whitbrett. Leyland again, May.
The right edge of the Giants has been very aggressive. They're going to get tested again here. May looks to play and gets half a ball in Broadbent.
Here come the Robins, looking to add to their scoreline before half-time. Lewis gets it away, May kicks. Coming across just in time was Adam Swift for Huddersfield.
Time off, just restart. Check, please, James. I've got goal line drop out live call.
Just going to look at.
We're checking the restart. No, we're checking a restart. Time's off, it's a restart check. Yeah, I'm checking it. We've got goal line drop out live.
Yes. Great work.
Sorry about that, mate. In your way down there.
Oh, no, sorry.
I like to think I will. Okay, mate, drop out. Goal line drop out, shot clock on.
Adam Swift just bats that ball dead.
Drop out, mate, come short.
Again, the Giants players, they keep turning up. The kick from May.
Yeah, finding a way, aren't they?
Well, I said the last set was important for them to defend, but they've got another one. And I think that's the third or the fourth goal line dropout that they've had to come up with through the boot of Flanagan.
On the shot clock here is Flanagan. Again, he kicks to this near side, bounces once more. A definite tactic, that goal line dropout from Flanagan. It's worked once for them, almost another time there. Here's Warrior Hargreaves.
Two, move, back, middle, back. Hurry, hold. George, quicker in the row.
Hearing now, actually, Hewitt has failed his HIA, having developed a symptom. Here's Mikey Lewis at pace.
Move, goal line.
Big opportunity here for the Robins, but ball's gone forward on the floor. Lewis doesn't like it, the Giants do.
Yeah, they're doing off. And again, it was a wonderful little pre-planned move from May, using Kalepi Tanganoa first, trying to create space for an arriving Mikey Lewis. You can just see there Clune on his opposite number, just does enough, he spills the ball. And the Giants survive once again.
They've kept the man of steel pretty quiet in this first half, haven't they? He's been running rings around defenders all season.
Yeah, he's certainly done a job on him.
Final minutes here. Huddersfield to go to half-time, not winning the game, but down by just 4. And remember, Gagai had that opportunity to score in the corner, held up, might even be going in level or with a 2-point lead. Are we seeing a big upset on the cards here in round 11 at Craven Park? Long way to go as we approach half-time.
I think that'll be the pleasing part for Robinson, that if they can fix up and have a, you know, I think they must have only had about maybe 8 to 10 play the balls in KR's 20. You flip that and contrast that to what KR have been doing. They're still in it.
Loose ball, Clune gets back. There's the hooter for half-time. Flanagan will submit in the tackle, and we will go to half-time. And what a contest we have seen in the first 40. Hull Kingston Rovers heavy favourites here, but just one try to speak of to Joe Burgess. Jacob Gagai was denied. Mikey Lewis had one ruled out by the video ref, but this Hull Kingston Rovers team with some thinking to do perhaps at half-time. They lead Huddersfield at home by 4 points to 0. Welcome back to Seal Group Craven Park. The host team, Hull Kingston Rovers, leading Huddersfield Giants by 4 points to 0. Hull KR have won their last 5 in Super League against the Giants, but they're in a battle here. Carl Amor alongside on commentary. What are some of the key numbers we're looking at?
Yeah, look, obviously it's a fairly even contest, there's no doubt about it. In terms of the stats, not a lot separates them. You know, perhaps the meters made by Hull KR gives them that 4-0 lead, and crucially slightly better possession. But it's, you know, the concern for me is the amount of defending the Giants have had to do. If they can carry on and maybe just get their fair share of the pill, who knows in this contest. But you just wonder how much that will take its toll. Of course, Matty English now won't return, having failed that HIA. And we'll have to get to see what happens over the next 40 minutes. There's still a contest here, no doubt about it, in round 11.
Absolutely. A 50-pointer in the return fixture between these two teams. Doesn't look like that at all today. Of course, the Robins coming in off that semi-final win in the Challenge Cup last weekend up at the York Community Stadium. Perhaps a hangover from that, who knows, but you can't take anything away from the visiting team, the Giants, as they retake the field here. Will we see all that defending take its toll in this second half? That's all to unfold here in the next 40 minutes.
Yeah, you make a great point there about, you know, the hangover. And people might be thinking, well, you know, hangover if you're through, but it's the mental side of it. You know, a City that is delighted to get back there again. Of course, they fell short back in 2023 in the Challenge Cup final, and you feel that this is the year they have to win. It's so many good noises coming out of them. Well, this is against the side here this afternoon at Huddersfield, have conceded on average 28 points a game, and only 4 in the opening 40 minutes.
So 40 minutes to go here at Craven Park. Hull KR leading Huddersfield by 4 points to 0. Just the one try in the match to Joe Burgess. And we are back underway. Artur Morg sends it deep into Huddersfield territory. Long shadows here on the eastern side of Hull. A beautiful afternoon, but a brutal contest in many ways through the middle between these two sides. Sam Hewitt mentioned he had failed his HIE. He actually passed it. He's back out there for Huddersfield in this second half. However, we won't see Matty English. He showed some symptoms after his knock, so he will play no further part in this match this afternoon.
Yeah, down to only one recognised front rower on the bench in George King. Rush on, there's a silly mistake there. Young Rush overplaying Sam Hewitt, just not aware that this cut ball here actually hits his shoulder. He takes his eyes off it. And once again, an error leads to the to Rovers having the ball 40 metres away from the Huddersfield line.
Yeah, we saw that the first half, didn't we, when George King was almost in a hole right under the whole KR posts. Spilt it with the final pass. So errors hurting the Giants early here, and here comes May for Kingston Rovers. Almost through the tackle of Hewitt. They reload again. Litton hits and spins and goes again. 10 metres out. Fourth tackle now. Minchella demands the ball quickly. Litton to Warrior Hargreaves, who had that 10 minutes in the Simbin in the first half. Now Artur Morgan, an opportunity here with the offload, but it looked like it might have been forward. It wasn't taken anyway from Davis.
Yeah, not a booth there. Just goes for the flick pass and perhaps just holds on to it a fraction of a second too long, Rupert. You just see he tries to get between the centre and winger, and the skill on the end of it means that the Giants survive an early threat. Created space, did the young centre.
That corner's seen some action, hasn't it? Jacob Gagai tonight in the first half, held up. Huddersfield Giants could have been ahead in this game. That would have been a story at half-time. Still is a story. Down 4 points to nil. Given form coming into this game, 5 straight wins for the Robins over the Giants. Coming into this game this afternoon. They get a penalty as well.
Yeah. That'll be pleasing. Charlie Whitbread just messing around too long.
Big JWH all over him as well. Didn't help matters. Almost kept in field over there on the far side. But it will be a hand over here.
I think Tom Davis touches that ball.
12 Sam Hewitt was on, replacing 16 George King.
There'll be a turnover, yeah. The Giants deciding that they want to select the middle part of the field.
Let's go, let's go.
Davis just gets a touch there, leaps from the field of play.
Ashton Golding.
Release it, hold. Hold.
Wolford is there.
Ashton, push forward.
Clune. Head coach Luke Robertson thrilled to have the likes of Clune at his disposal. Back from injury. Triple tackle again coming in. Here's Kieran Rush. Fourth tackle. Bibby. Wolford to Golding. To Clune. Hot on attack here, almost into a hole.
An important tackle that was.
Tyrone May kicks through too heavy. Nothing coming there for Huddersfield in the air.
Yeah, kick far too long. Mikey Lewis is away. Here he goes.
Up over the halfway line. Mikey Lewis and a high arm coming in from Flanagan.
Yeah.
Mikey Lewis caught them napping. They got a penalty as well.
It was a shocking kick from Wolford. So heavy. And then Mikey Lewis, Rupert, didn't he do well transitioning from defence into attack and racing away 40 metres before George Flanagan swings over the top and gives the penalty away.
Well, he had a quiet first half, didn't he, Mikey Lewis? You thought maybe we would have seen a bit more of him with the ball in hand. Perhaps has come out in this second period and wanted to put the pressure on the likes of Flanagan.
And Tom Grant calling George Flanagan over. Perhaps he's had a bit of a word in his ear.
You doing, mate? Kicking?
Sam Luckley out there for Warrior Hargreaves. Here's May to Luckley. Alan Shearer celebration at St James's Park on Magic Weekend. Great feature you can watch of him. He was talking to his nan and his mum and dad. It's available on YouTube. The whole Luckley family getting involved, and there's an error on the floor on attack from Hull KR.
There's Joe Whitbread. Just loses the ball. Again, you know, Hull KR, we're not used to seeing this from them. They are in the lead. Willie Peters will be urging his side to be a bit more consistent down that end of the field. You know, sometimes when you're in those top teams and you play sort of, I wouldn't say bad, I don't think they played bad, but perhaps not to their standards, and you can still get a win. You know, you just put them wins to bed. Having said that, there's still 35 minutes left.
Adam Swift enjoying life over on the far side there in the sunshine. Runs out of his own 20.
He's got the sun cream on.
Luckily, working hard with Litton and Jai Whitbread on defence. Here's Clune on the inside ball.
Big contact there from Tanginoa. Bang.
In their own half, here comes the kick from Clune. Easy pickings for Burgess. He's got the only try of the match so far.
Oh,
there's an error.
Well, just started to creep in with the mistakes for the Robins. This time it was Jack Broadbent who just spills the ball.
Well, it's a funny old game, rugby league, isn't it? 7 days ago, Jack Broadbent, 2 tries against Catalan Dragons. He actually scored one in the quarter-final as well. Player of the match in that game.
16, Jai Whitbread.
These are the parts of the field that the Giants will be licking their lips at. Ball comes out to the right.
Clune has it. Lewis is onto him, though. He read that well. Tane Mill at dummy half to Ashton Golding. Only Leroy Kudjoe has made more tackles in Super League than him this season. Kingston Rovers fans in full voice once again, knowing they need to support their team defensively here. Huddersfield looking for their first points of the match. Short ball wasn't forward, it was.
There was good line speed from the right edge, just forces young Rush to perhaps playing that ball a fraction of a second earlier than what he would have liked.
It's just that final crucial moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the opposition red zone. A couple of times we've seen it in this game.
And how many times have we seen that? You know, there's been a mistake or just a little bit of looseness or not a good end to the set. And 2 plays in, and they hand the ball back to KR. And when you come in to grounds where teams are flying high on confidence and perhaps not operating at their absolute best, you have to nail moments, you have to take your opportunities. And the Giants just keep letting them off the hook.
Dean Hadley's out there for Jai Whitbread. Booth. Litton scoots away himself from dummy half. Held up by Joe Greenwood and put on the floor. Jack Broadbent goes into play dummy half, gives it to Luckley, thinks about the offload, but nothing coming. That's the halfway line. Litton to Elliot Minchella. Needs some leadership here, perhaps, from the captain to Hull KR. under pressure at home to perform. Some big stories in the week. Got to get the job done here to stay on top of the table. Flanagan has it. Lewis was there, but it did go forward off a Hull KR hand.
Yeah, we brought back there. It's like two of the KR players both contest the ball. I think it's Leyland and Morg. Spills forward before Flanagan regains.
Swift.
Both sides lacking that ruthless cutting edge, you would have to say, this afternoon.
Gagai. Younger brother, of course, of Queensland origin and Newcastle Knights legend Dane Gagai. Cousin of the Sailor family as well. There's a big tackle coming in from Tananoa.
I mentioned Ollie Wilson there. He's come up with another mistake, and this time it's through Kalepi Tanganoa dictating play to him. He has to just take his medicine here. He tries to flick the ball out, and it's deemed to have gone forward to Gagai.
Yeah, it's not the time to offload that, is it, when you got Kalepi Tanganoa coming down your channel?
Right,
just take the tackle, perhaps.
Yeah.
Drop in tackling, George, 10 seconds.
He's certainly a big, powerful man, Kalepi Tanganoa.
Tight, back row in tight. Hold it there, mate. Shot clock off, bowling now.
53 minutes off the bench last week in that Cup semi-win.
Mikey Lewis to Jack Broadbent.
Move now!
Here is Tanganoa, having forced that error. Good go forward. Into the sunshine. Luckily.
Surrender! Stand now, Backash! Hold back!
Lytton to Minchella. Minchella to Tyrone May. Lewis bumps away from Gagai.
Move back foot! Hold.
Still a couple of tackles left here for the Rovers. Lytton. Artur Morg. He's looked dangerous with the ball in hand as Artur Morg. Lytton scoops it up brilliantly. They'll run it on the last here. Lewis needs to try and get the ball away. He can't, and Golding has it for Huddersfield.
Yeah, again, not wonderful pictures. KR just look like they're making it up. It's off the back of a quick ruck. Jez Lytton throws the ball over the top. There's Joe Burgess in front of Lewis. He skirts back towards the centre part of the field. But they do enough. Giants, yeah, I think I have to credit them actually. They're turning up and they keep on doing so. And I think if Hull KR had a little bit more about them in attack, then this game could have been put to bed.
Well, they say good teams win ugly.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the prettiest from Hull Kingston Rovers so far. Every game from Super League live on Sky. KR will travel to Hannibal Jones to take on Warrington next weekend. Huddersfield will host St Helens. Rush, left foot.
Go back to the mark.
Play the ball there.
Yeah.
Pull back.
George King looks like he's about to get ready for his second stint, but again, it's another mistake. Young Noah Booth, I think it was.
As we've said already, Carl, you've got to credit this Huddersfield defensive effort, forcing some of these errors, these unlikely errors, given what we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, it's gone to that part of the game now where both teams are guilty of making similar mistakes, and it's whichever side wants to get hold of this half by the scruff of the neck here can go on and collect the 2 points this afternoon.
Captain's challenge here.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge by Hull KR. Hull KR are challenging the decision of a knock-on. Okay, so we can see two defenders in the tackle. You can see Golding's hand around the ball. Just need to determine how this ball comes out. Okay, You can see Golding's hand around the ball. We've established that there's multiple players in the tackle. Just looking for any intent to steal the ball there. This is our best available angle. Golding's hand is around the ball. Golding's hand does not move. He's entitled to tackle around the ball. There's no clear flick of the wrist or hand, and the ball appears to be lost by the ball carrier. The challenge is unsuccessful.
It looks like Noah Booth has just let go of the ball. There's no ripping action from Ash Golding.
Well, as soon as a knock-on was called, Noah Booth got up and said to Elliot Minchella, no, he ripped it away.
Yeah.
So Elliot Minchella thought, all right, I'll go with you here. But didn't go their way.
Perhaps the youngster will have that licence took away from him moving forward.
Yeah, confident from the young man.
Ollie Wilson, Dean Hadley just having to rub their heads together there.
It suits Huddersfield, all this. Just mix things up a bit, and here they come on attack once again with Sam Horsell.
Can you imagine the confidence levels from the Giants if they can register the next score? Okay, I'll be wondering if it's one of those days.
Wolford. There's Wilson. Triple tackle on him once more. He was dominant as well. Out the back to Clune. Clune dummies. They want quick recycled ball here from the player the ball do. Huddersfield. Not as quick as they would have liked as Sam Hewitt skips away from one. Does get a bit of momentum. Here's the last tackle. Haven't been great on the last tackle so far in this match. As Clune kicks, and it's over the head of Burgess, and he watches it go out.
Yeah, Clune just perhaps wanting the bounce to favour that right edge. And Burgess sprints back, dumps the ball off to Davis, who gets his side 8 metres further up the field.
Yeah, we saw Mikey Lewis tap and run all the way up the halfway line a little earlier on. They were better prepared that time, Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Lewis scoops it up with his left hand and then gives it to James Batchelor. Litton cut out ball to Minchella. Lewis, Tanganoa now. Mikey Lewis perhaps coming into the game, the dummy and the high tackle. Mikey Lewis. The pass was for Minchella. It was knocked down by Flanagan, or that was try time.
Well, you called it. You were waiting to see Mikey Lewis burst into life this afternoon, and he's such a threat. Even his quietest games, you have to be on the money. There's nothing doing here, Rupert. The big cell, he gets underneath, ducks away, and Elliot Minchella, if it's not for George Flanagan batting that ball down, well, he'd be in for his first try of 2025, the captain. Mikey Lewis, so strong, deceptively strong.
Well, I met a young lad in the press room earlier who was doing a tour, 7 years of age. He was asked who's going to score today for Hull Kingston Rovers. He said, Elliot Minchella. He wasn't far away for his first of the season. Maybe the young lad will get his moment after all.
Well, it might come this set.
Lewis out the back, here's Burgess. Burgess almost there.
Again, it's desperate defence, Rupert, from the Giants again.
There was Cujo that time. Hull Kingston Rovers. Mikey Lewis finding his feet in this contest. Lewis! The crowd like it. Lewis likes it. And Hull KR had their second try of the match. And 58 minutes in, Magic Mikey's found his groove.
Yeah, there's a real Vegas theme ahead of this kickoff. And the magician, the magic Mikey Lewis steps up for his 9th try of the season. He opened them up a couple of plays earlier. And then he gets his try. This was the first run, the real moment that we've seen Lewis in this game. George Flanagan bats the ball down, but 3 plays later, Lewis gets his moment. Again, nothing on, just snaps hard off his right foot. Ollie Wilson, being exposed defensively. He has to do better there. And George Flanagan, well, he would have liked to been able to wrap that ball up, but having said that, he is the reigning man of steel, he is box office, and he's so strong, so threatening. And that's the score that really, you think, just might crush any hopes of the Giants.
Well, you can't keep a good man down. They kept him quiet for the best part of 3/4 of this match. Artur Morg with the opportunity to take Hull KR into double figures here. Pushing 80% this season, makes no mistake. And Hull Kingston Rovers lead Huddersfield by 10 points to 0.
Yeah, they sure do. And we mentioned about the amount of defending that the Giants had to do in the first half, and we knew it would get them towards the back end. And those last 2 sets, those last 2 runs from Mikey Lewis, Rupert, the evidence is all there. And maybe OKR can see this 11,000 crowd at home with a couple more before the 80's up.
We're back underway. 10-0. Robins leading Giants. It was just 4 points the difference at half-time, but perhaps a few firm words at the break from Willie Peters and his coaching staff. And top-ranked team coming in around 11. Hull KR have started this second half a bit more like their old selves. Litton to Lewis. Casually gives it to Tanganoa. You've got to give some ups to this guy. He's made a big difference in this second period. Tanganoa.
Yeah, big impact off the bench. Lewis out on the full. That's sport for you, isn't it? From the heights of scoring a try to a simple error by his standards.
Yeah, Rooster 1 minute, feather duster the next. They'll shake that off. Here come Cujo and Huddersfield. Been 3 years since they've beaten KR in Super League, and they're going to have to do something very special in this second half to change that. But there's the error from a tired-looking Leroy Cujo.
Yeah, it's been a theme, a common theme from both sets of players, actually. Mistakes. Unfortunately for the Giants, there's just been too many of them. And Artur Morg now, who's looked lively this afternoon. Jez Litton looks to explore that right edge, dumps the ball back inside to Hanley. Well, Hanley rather, he'll just take that tackle.
Some tired-looking Huddersfield defenders, and the Robins looking to take advantage of that. They are ruthless when they find an inside shoulder. Litton, Minchella. Out the back again, May, he had the opportunity to give it to Batchelor, he's still going. May's over the line. Tyrone May. Dummied one way, went the other. He had a lot of work to do, and there's number 3.
Yeah, it's a tired chase, Rupert, on the inside. Tyrone May shows the ball, decides not to pass it, and doesn't feel any heat coming from underneath. And he just decides to run to register his first score in 2025. And a mistake again. The first try of the afternoon, that Burgess try, came off an error. Leroy Cujo this time, the guilty party. Sam Lockley always trying to promote the ball and does so. Ends out to the right side of the field. And you see the blue jerseys in underneath the ball, just clocking off, thinking that the play's gone. And Tyrone May, a man of his quality. Grand finalists in 2023 and 24 with the Catalan Dragons and Hull KR last year. A player of his quality. You give him that much time and space, he'll take it.
Yeah, Zach Wolford was in quicksand there as Tyrone May changed direction, his first of this Super League season. Morg with the extra 2 points. And all of a sudden, it is all change at Craven Park. 16-0. Hull KR lead it.
Yeah, back-to-back tries. Wonderful offload from Luckley. And Tyrone May has to be dealt with there. You cannot run with no more land behind you. You just sit and wait. 16-0.
There is Luckley. Runs it back. Bit of a cult hero in these parts. Great figure of the Graham Gate character, and that offload which kept the ball alive there on attack for Kingston Rovers. And Tanganoa now as well. He's interchange for KR, making a big difference, and Hadley, big minute player, up towards the 40.
Yeah, the bench has added impact for Peters, his man. Jez Litton now sees some space. Wonderful
to find a tight defender or two. He's got Lewis inside. Litton to Lewis. Clune with the last-ditch tackle. Still alive, though, for Hull KR. Here's Burgess. Burgess with the short ball to Kalepi Tanganoa. And Hull KR are back up and running big time.
Kalepi Tanganoa. He's been good value this afternoon. And he gets a try, a much-deserved one as well. But it was just quick rock. Jez Litton races away. He's got Burgess and Mikey Lewis in support. Mikey Lewis gets pulled down by Adam Clune. And eventually, it's Burgess ball playing, soft, short ball there through a huge hole for Kalepi Tanganoa. The big back rower off the bench scores the third quick successive try and well and truly puts this game to bed. Good sides are able to do that, even on the days where they're not playing so well. They have match winners in there. It took Mikey Lewis, the reigning man of steel, to light the blue touch paper.
Yeah, 3 tries, 6-minute blitz has sent Hull Kingston Rovers well clear. 20 points to 0 now. Morg will try and add another couple of points. Kalepi Tanganoa, his third try in Super League this season. Artur Morg will look to add to his impressive points total this season, and he curls it round for another couple. 22-0. Hull KR lead Huddersfield. 66 minutes through.
Yeah, and it was just all too quick for the Giants, and in the end, Kalepi Tanganoa benefits from it. A walk-in.
We talked, didn't we, about Willie Peace's strategy now with that cup final coming up. Peter Hiku and Saoso Su rested today. But when you've got the likes of Kalepi Tanganoa to be able to call upon off the bench, it can cover the absence of some of those big-time players.
Oh, it sure can. And then you look at the likes of Jack Broadbent. I mentioned it earlier, playing centre, winger and full-back. Every one of those top sides, those championship-winning sides, if they go on to do it, all have that.
From Tanganoa there to Lewis. After a flat first half, sorry, Carl, by their standards, they look like they're opening the playbook now.
Yeah, they just seem to be getting into the groove, and it's against a very, very tired-looking Giants now. And here comes May, switch back on the inside, and Jez Litton, luckily, offload there to Tanganoa. Offloading at will now, Rupert.
Last tackle here. Lewis is going to kick. He's got plenty of chasers as well. Flanagan can't get there. Too many bodies in front of him. Still alive for Burgess. He kicks, but it's straight into the hands of Kieran Rush. Flanagan to Gagai. Gagai almost away. Litton there.
He does well on his feet, does Gagai.
Here's Adam Swift coming around the corner, hit by Luckley. Approaching the final 10 minutes here. Hull KR looking to go back on top of the Super League standings. Kudjo. Inside ball to Flanagan from Clune. Clune has to kick on the last. Luckley's there. Does well, the big fella, to get back.
Yeah, works hard off the ball there. Sees the threat. Got his head in the game. Neat ball back on inside. It was for Flanagan. And the big Geordie just kills that play.
Interchange of 362 out of the captains for OKR.
Arthur Moore. Jez Litton arriving at this play of the ball. Mentioned the absence of Mickey Michelorem and how important Litton has become now for this Hull KR side.
He's having a fine season, Jez Litton.
Lewis kicks against the grain once more. Morgs on the chase. Everyone lets it bounce. Still alive, and it might work out here for Joe Burgess. Flicks it indoors. Lewis has it. Last tackle, and that'll be a handover.
Yeah, nowhere to go for Lewis in the end. I thought he was going to try the big crossfield kick. Burgess is offload back into the player field.
Tom Davis was waving his arms over on the far side in the sunshine.
He just decides to run it. It was just that moment I thought he was going to pull the trigger.
Swift again over his own 10-metre line. Just that one win to speak of this season for Huddersfield, but certainly something, no matter what the scoreline ends up, is certainly something to build on. That first half performance here against one of the best teams in the competition.
There's Harrowing defence here. They're really struggling to get out of their own end of the field.
Already on the fourth. They're going to have to kick here from deep in their own territory. Rush just gets it as far as Arthur Moore, who plays a bit of football on halfway. Mikey Lewis. To Noah Booth. That Jack Broadbent with the carry there. Here's Litton again. Wairua Hargreaves back out there. He wants a bit more action. Scored his first try for the Robins on Good Friday against crosstown rivals Hull FC. Kick through, and Flanagan just has to put it over the end line.
Yeah, forced into that. The weight of the kick from May was perfect. And the young fullback, it's not taking any chances whatsoever. Tyrone May chasing him down.
Just 20 years of age, George Flanagan, the Bradford Academy. But here's an opportunity. KR, because that kick barely went 20 metres. Litton trying to put the foot on the throat here. The Robins.
Dean Hadley, I think he's been on 80 minutes in the front row.
Litton at the back, and they've got another try.
And
Jack Brown with the score. The Kingston Rovers And that pretty much seals it.
Well, look at how delighted he was. He was his 100th career game last week in that cup semi. Only 17 minutes off the bench. He's found game time difficult, but he's in the 17. And he gets his first try of 2025. The goal line dropout was a short one. It was a difficult take as well for Tom Davies in the sunlight. Did ever so well. And again, I'm going to say the word that I've said for the last 3 tries. It's tired defence. The ball back on the inside there. It's Harry Rushton who goes low, and Flanagan just gets done for strength. Jack Brown scores 26-0. And the way RT Morg's kicking, imagine it'd be 28. And the last quarter has really gotten away from the Giants. We praise their effort and the commitment for one another, but in the end it was just too much defending through their own doing, penalties and errors. Of course, KR played their part in that department as well, but there's just too much class out there, and in the end it's taken its toll.
RT Morg does exactly that. Hull Kingston Rovers 28, Huddersfield Giants 0. Approaching the final 5 minutes of this round 11 Betfred Super League game, and Jack Brown getting in on the act with his first Super League try of the season.
There's some crafty play there in the build-up from Jez Litton.
Mikey Lewis just bounces in front of him and over his head, but does well to reel it in. Hull Kingston Rovers go to Warrington away next, then they host St Helens here, and then they're into the Challenge Cup final at Wembley against the Warrington Wolves, of course.
And on the flip side of that, Rupert, it doesn't get any easier for the Giants. 3 home games, they'll be delighted with that, but their opponents, St Helens, Lee and Wigan, difficult games coming up.
Warrior Hargreaves, here's Hadley to May. Opportunity again out on the edge for the Robins. 40 metres out, all on the last tackle. Grubber through from Mikey Lewis. Flanagan is there, well placed. Swifty hasn't stopped working for this Giants team today. Trying to get out of this red zone. They've so often been there. They needed some big carries. Here's Jacob Gagai. Could have been in front at half-time if he hadn't been held up in the corner. Golding to Cujo, and a big hit coming in from Tanganoa, and the ball spills out. And here comes Mikey Lewis and Joe Burgess. What a beautiful line. He'll dummy and he'll finish. Burgess with a double. And that's the pick of the tries today.
And it all comes about off a Tanganoa booming tackle. The ball gets spilled, they play on, and then Burgess gets his second. We'll take a look at this shot here on George King. Folds him in half. Tyrone May collects, plays on. May to Lewis. Burgess on a wonderful line, back on the inside. And does Flanagan and scores his second try of the afternoon as the Robins hit the 30 mark. 32 points to 0 and a kick to come. And you're right, that was probably the pick of the bunch. What a wonderful shot from Kalepi Tanganoa, who I have to say has been absolutely fantastic since his introduction into the game. Some of his carries have laid the platform for tries to come off the back of it. He's registered a score himself, and you can almost feel like you want to give him a try assist for that shot that he done on King. And he's our Betfred player of the match, is Kalepi Tanganoa. In an afternoon where the last quarter has ran away with it. It was very difficult to pick out a standout performer. RT Morg, of course, kicked 4 from 5, maybe 5 from 6 after this one. and he's been lively and threatening. Sam Luckley's added something off the bench as well. Jez Litton, special mention for him. 80 minutes doing the dirty work in the middle of the field. I think Kalepi Tanganoa has added some real power and excitement to this KR team.
28 straight points in the second half. Will it be 30? Close to 11,000 inside Sewell Craven Park today.
That's good.
They were in a contest at half-time, but in this second period, it has been one-way traffic. 34-0, 30 unanswered points in the second period, and Joe Burgess with a beautiful finish.
Yeah, just cuts them open. It was a big concern of mine watching the first 40. I mentioned it a couple of times, as we both did actually. And that's done ever so well to keep that ball in field, the players, Mikey Lewis. But the amount of defending they had to do, you just knew. We've seen enough rugby league between us. You just knew that the energy battle was going to be won and lost there.
Well, you have, Kyle. But yeah, to be fair, we did discuss that at half-time. It felt like it was going to pay in the end, all that territory, all that possession, all those sets. They did so well. They were valiant for 50-odd minutes, really.
And again, the carry from Jack Brown and players falling off them. Here comes Dean Hadley. May, they're looking at this right edge again. They've got them for numbers.
Moog with the cutout ball to Davis. Davis with the in and away. Final tackle now. Lewis wants it. What can he conjure up here? The man of steel. Not much. That'll be a handover.
I would like to see a little bit more, but you always know Mikey Lewis is going to look for his own run first. Been guilty of that a couple of times this afternoon. But there is a trade-off, because when he gets it right, we saw already in the second half what he can do.
Great players find a way, don't they?
They sure do, yeah.
And credit to him, kept quiet in the first half of this match, but he's got such a clever box of tricks. He's such a wonderful athlete. And Tyrone May as well.
Yeah.
That combination has been excellent once again.
Yeah, it's a juicy part, isn't it, of the 17. They've worked really well, complement one another. And you throw Peter Hiku back into that.
Yeah, here Suaso Su, having played every game this season, given a rest today. And Peter Hiku watching on from the sidelines, no doubt enjoying their afternoon in the sunshine. Beautiful conditions for running rugby league, and can Huddersfield get something out of this match? No score so far. Gagai falls awkwardly. Yeah, heard him shriek out there as well. Looks to be okay. That's good. Here's Flanagan. Clune hit as he kicked it.
And not forward there off Tom Davis. It was great kick pressure from James Batchelor, but that will be that.
Yeah, the final hooter goes. Hull tested in the first half, but they well and truly found their best stuff in the second. 34 points to 0, and they're back on top of Super League.
Yeah, and deservedly so. They've been the best team in the competition so far. After 11 rounds, they sit top of the Betfred Super League table. Of course, Wigan Warriors did a little number on them in the final 10 minutes in that wonderful contest we had here a little while ago. And those two will meet again, no doubt about it. But for now, the dominant final 20 minutes from Hull KR sees them race away to a healthy score this afternoon, of 34 points to 0.